Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you, coming at you with yet another White Forest build. This is one that I said I wanted to work on actually in, I think, way back when we covered Toy White Forest, or it might have been Centurion. Well, either way, those are the two things we're doing here. We are combining our Toy and White Forest Centurion builds all into one deck, and I suspect there's a chance this might actually be the best way to play this deck in Master Duel right now. So, both the Toy and the Centurion engines, when combined with White Forest, were the ones that I end up being the most impressed with personally. I think that the Toy engine offering so many bodies, and especially the fact that the Toy Soldier can actually search one of your very relevant monsters. Level 4 light could be the Rukia, it could be the Sylvie if you really need it in hand for some reason. It could even be the Centurion Primera. It's got so many relevant search targets. Again, on top of the fact that the Toy engine offers so much advantage for playing the White Forest cards that it seems like a pretty natural inclusion, right? And in our previous build, when we were a more dedicated Toy White Forest deck, we were playing a lot more Toy cards. Here, it's 3 Toy blocks plus 1 of each Soldier and Tank, which is really all you need, right? So, a lot of the time, when I'm combining, especially more than 2 archetypes into one deck, I like to begin by reducing the engine or archetype down to its most base form, the very minimum I can get away with playing while still having this function, and then expanding out individually from there based on how I want the deck to play. So I don't need the deck to have a heavy Toy focus, so 3 Toy blocks and 1 of each of the targets is more than enough. And then for the Centurion side, I actually talked about doing this in the Centurion video. We trimmed it down to just 1 Primera, 1 Trudea, and then 3 of each of the Field Spell Emblema, and then 1 Phalanx. Not on Wake Up in this build, couldn't quite fit it with also playing the Toy stuff, but Wake Up is also a very good card. You could play Wake Up instead of Triple Tack. I think that'd be a pretty easy change if you wanted to do that, but I do value the Triple Tack's flexibility a little higher than the specific situations in which Wake Up would be good in this build. But, again, for Centurion, you really only need to be playing 1 of each of the monsters in order to be able to make plays. You technically only need 1 of the Field Spell as well, but I like having 3 of the Field Spell because it's a fantastic extender. That, along with Emblema Oath, are 2 of the best extenders in the game, because these let you go 1 card into a full Centurion combo without using your normal summon. So it's very easy for you to go into a big White Forest line, have your opponent commit multiple hand traps to it, and then be like, alright, okay, so activate Emblema, set stand up, flip stand up, activate effect, it is quite good. It is quite good. And of course, there is the natural synergy between Centurion and White Forest, as we discussed as well. Not just in the form of level 4 light spellcaster tuners, but in the ability to make level 12s from pretty much both archetypes. Speaking of level 12s and the extract in general, if you look, we're definitely a little more focused on the Centurion stuff. In the last Centurion White Forest build, I was still playing the Muddy Mud Dragon and stuff, and I even said it in that video, but I was looking at it, this is a White Forest extra deck and a Centurion deck, and I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. Here we have a little bit more of a marriage between the 2 extra decks. Trying some experimental stuff out. In Master Pack Bet, I saw a White Forest build playing this, and I was like, really? This of all level 8 synchros? And then I realized it's actually not hard to make this off of woes during your opponent's turn. And this triggers when synchro summoned or sent to the graveyard. So obviously, you can synchro summon it off of woes during your opponent's turn, push 1 of their monsters into the back row, and then potentially, if your opponent tries to out this with an effect or battle over it, you can do the effect again. Well, no, this is only once per turn, never mind. Dang, I thought I was onto something there about doing it twice in 1 turn. If you summon this during your opponent's turn, then they also try to out it, but I think summoning this during the opponent's turn is still quite good. It's a similar philosophy of summoning Silvera during your opponent's turn, right? And using that as disruption. So, That's kind of like one of my experimental slots here. But to be fair, the extra deck is fairly wide open. There's not like a ton that you have to play in a list like this. So, anything else I want to say about the build here? Not especially. Oh, as always, I don't own a second Blazar, but I do own a Quasar, which is, for all intents and purposes, effectively the same thing. So, especially if it's a stand-in for the second Blazar, I think it's fine. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, it's a lot of the stuff you would expect to see in a both White First and Centurion extra decks. And again, I suspect that this might actually be the best way to play White Forest in Master Duel right now. Runic, just Fountain at 1 just hurts too much. It's a little bit too inconsistent / easy to stop. The Horus build, I was pretty impressed with and would like to try out a little bit more. But I think in terms of both power, consistency, and how all these engines support each other, these three woven together are just a very natural fit. So why don't we go ahead and break the list down card by card, because I know White Forest is still a fairly new archetype. Maybe people aren't familiar with the toy cards, so we'll break it down card by card, and then we'll look at some gameplay here. We're on 1 Effect Veiler, 3 Max C, 3 Esteller of the White Forest, 3 Elzette of the White Forest, 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Toy Soldier, 1 Centurion Primera, 1 Centurion Trudea, 1 Toy Tank, 2 Sylvie of the White Forest, 1 Rukia of the White Forest, 1 Centurion Gargoyle 2, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Troll Tactics Talent, 1 Tails of the White Forest, 3 Stand Up Centurion, 3 Toy Box, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Cross-Out Designator, 3 Emblem Oath, 2 Infinite Permanence, 1 Centurion Phalanx, and then 1 Woes of the White Forest. There's our main deck. For the extra, we're on 1 Formula Synchron, 1 Tri-Edge Master, 1 Silvera Wolf Tamer of the White Forest, 1 Rakila Sinister Soul of the White Forest, 1 Edding Master Packbit, 1 Diabel Queen of the White Forest, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Chaos Angel, 1 Shooting Quasar Dragon, 1 Shooting Blazar Dragon, 1 Crimson Dragon, 1 Centurion Legatia, 1 Centurion Auxilia, 1 SP Little Knight, and finally 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. That'll do it for our list. Let's see these games. Alright, so we're going into these Duels Cup games here, but I do not have to know what my opponent's deck is, so we will tell you what we're playing against, because we lost the coin flip and are going first. Which means it's very likely going to be Tenpai. So, now this is a very weird hand, but what I can do here is start by normal summoning Sylvie. That's not what I thought I was about to do. Hold on, I thought I was about to set Toy Tank and then normal summon a Stellar and activate to send Toy Tank. I think that would have definitely been the better play, because even if my Stellar got negated, I could still special Toy Tank by its effect and then activate Toy Tank and special Sylvie from hand. Wow, gotta love it. First play, I immediately catch myself making a misplay, but you know what? That is okay. That's a lot of the reason why I like to go over my replays and even in a video format, because watching your own games back over for misplays is one of the best ways to improve. And talking out loud is one of the best ways to ingrain information into your brain. I mean, that's why I've always said that I think making this channel and talking with you all has absolutely made me a better Yu-Gi-Oh player. Yeah, so here I'm going to go for, I guess, a greedier line and go for the Elzette sending the set Toy Tank, when I really, again, should have just set Toy Tank and normal summon a Stellar, but gonna go for the Rakila here. Rakila, we're gonna pitch the triple attack to add Woes. Yeah, I wouldn't have had to have pitched triple attack here either, I guess. Although I guess I get to just add it back. So, or I could anyway if I wanted to. It's not that big of a deal. So here we're gonna use the Toy Tank to special summon the Esteller, and then we're gonna use that to go into Centurion plays. So yeah, I went for kind of a greed line here. Which ended up paying off because my opponent didn't have anything. Oh, it looks like we're going to add back the Woes with Debo. Oh, because I misclicked there. You'll notice that the Woes didn't come back after I sent it off of a Stellar. Don't worry, that was just me trying to play quickly and misclicking and not adding back the Woes. So I should have been able to add back the triple attack or the Tails. I probably would have added back Tails, just because my opponent hasn't used the monster effect yet. I guess to be fair, they could be saving for a nib, and in that regard, it might not be bad to add back triple attack. That'd probably be the best play either way, but I mean, either way, missing that add off of Diabel is not a big deal. That misplay I did recognize during the game itself, don't worry. But, yeah, we even still have an extra Rukia on board, which is lovely when you can end with some extra bodies. It does kind of make me feel like it's wasted a little bit, like, oh, can I have made an SP Little Knight? But I think I might actually make an SP Little Knight, or that might be a different game I'm thinking of. You need to add the Phalanx here, too. No, I do get to make SP Little Knight, because we haven't used Sylvie yet. That's right, I was thinking of this game. And then boom, set 3. So, was this the most optimal way to play this turn? No. Did this produce a very cool end board? Yes, absolutely. This is kind of the maximum, I feel like, of what a deck like this could pull off on turn 1. We have our Centurion line fully set up, including the Phalanx. We have our Diabell set up in order to go into a level 10 Synchro with Formula during the opponent's turn, as well as the Woes that we searched to make even more Synchro plays, potentially. And we even have the cherry on top of an SP Little Knight. Ah, good stuff. Love to see it. And an Imprim set never hurts either. Alright, let's see what our opponent can try to do here. Oh, not Tempai, because Lord of the Heavenly Prison is coming down here. That's what I get for being presumptuous. See, I thought this was a different game. I remember an opponent having Lord of the Heavenly Prison, but I don't remember it being a duel where I went first. Or where an opponent let me go first, rather. That's a little bit weird. But anyway. So here I get to do all my Centurion effects. Elzette and Woes both get to activate here as well. And I could even do the Formula right now if I really wanted to, but I think I'm going to try to save it and maybe go for it. No, I'm going to go for a Baron here, because I think my opponent's about to set a bunch of cards. Excuse me. Oh, got the hiccups there for a second. Okay. Yeah, here's the Blazar. Okay, yeah, I do go Formula when they go to end the main phase. I was waiting to see if they had something I wanted to Chaos Angel, but guess not. I mean, I could have Chaos Angel one of the face down cards, but I can also just use Baron. Alright, so putting back the Diabell during the end phase to summon out Sylvie. To potentially summon Diabell during the next turn. Power Sync Stone. Okay, so I chose not to negate this, because I was like, I thought, I was just being dumb. I completely misread it. For some reason, I thought Power Sync Stone said, whenever you, as in the player who controls it, activates a monster effect, that's when it gets counters. Duh, why would that be the case? So I really should have negated that with one of my Omnis here, like my Baron ideally, but don't mind me misplaying and not negating that. Oh, I actually remember exactly what game this is now. Okay, so our opponent's going to set Secret Blast, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe a burn deck? It's got to be a burn deck, which would explain a bunch of back rows and letting me go second. So moving to battle phase here, opponent's going to fire off the Blazing Mirror Force, which does burn and also wipe the whole board. Thankfully, it burns both of us, and also, thankfully, what is protecting my card here, actually? Because I thought it was the stand-up Centurion, but the protection effect is for itself. Well, either way, my Auxilia is protected. Is it really not because of this? Anyway. Yeah, Auxilia is protected from being able to be destroyed by card effects, which means that both Wax Held by Destiny and the Mirror Force cannot get rid of it. And the Blazing Mirror Force also took out their own life points enough for the Auxilia to be lethal anyway. Ah, love to see that. Yeah, I thought it was the stand-up effect keeping it safe, but it only keeps itself safe, I think. So, it might have been one of my graveyard effects or something. Either way, very, very spectacular first game here to be able to finish off in that way. Let's take a look at our next duel. Alright, this next game is going to be a very, very long grind game, and it's going to be up against Stun. I'm also going to apologize if you do hear some noises in the background there. I think at the end of the last game I started hearing construction that was going on, but... Alright, so we're going to be going second yet again for this one. Our opponents will likely go first. Starting with the Barrier Statue plus the Moon Shield. So immediately we're not looking very good. And I know a lot of players would probably just concede right here. But I like to try playing through stun. We've had numerous games here on the channel where you'll see me play an over 10 turn game against stun and end up winning in the long run. And here I do see the line. I have the Centurion Phalanx, I can banish the barrier statue, and that might be enough to get me there. Now my opponent does have back rows, but you know, it's one thing at a time when you're in difficult situations, right? What I am going to do is use my toy box to set multiple toy monsters from my deck. I'm going to do some deck thinning and get those out of there. It really is too bad I didn't open... Well, I guess I have Moon Mirror Shield, so never mind. I was going to say something like Primera that could battle over here, but yeah, between Moon Mirror Shield and now the decisive battle of Gongadola, or Golgong, whatever it is, you know, I don't really have much hopes of battling over the barrier statue here. I will Ash Blossom the Centurion Primera here. I forgot that this was Battle or card effect, which is why the toy box wasn't able to pop the Dogmatic Ecclesia there, unfortunately. So, alright, I'm gonna go for my toy box F, setting my toy tank. Here's I'm gonna try to go for Phalanx, banishing the barrier statue, right? Moon Mirror Shield can activate, that's fine. I'm gonna normal summon a Stellar, but then my opponent has the Dogmatica trap card, and then yeah, they can pop the toy box with a Norden. Now, I can still go for the stand-up Centurion here, so I'm like, okay, we still have plays, we can go for the Trudea. Trudea effect is special, but my opponent has a Fiendish Chain! What is it, 2012? I haven't seen this card in over a decade! This card actually used to be insanely good, by the way. Might be a little bit weird to read this and be like, really? When you think about it compared to Imperm, but yes. When it came to monster effect negation, back in the day, we did not have a lot of it, and Fiendish Chain was actually considered a staple for quite a bit of time, actually, at least a couple of years. So yeah, Fiendish Chain will stop my Trudea right in her tracks, and unfortunately, now we're in a pretty bad spot, because now, yeah, the barrier statue gets to come back, and my opponent even has a second one. Hope isn't entirely lost. I do actually have that Master Pack Bit in my extra deck, which is water. So if I can just get... Well, but that's the thing. I bumped up the Trudea's level! That was such a minor misplay that ended up being pretty major. You know, at the moment, I even had the thought of, like, should I change the level? Yeah, I will. Why not? If you ever have that thought of, should I activate an effect? Yeah, I will, because why not? You should always pause right there and explore the why not. If I had done that here, it would have definitely behooved me to have done so, but not much I can do about it now. I'm just going to have to go ahead and pass back over to my opponent after setting just this Imperm here. Imperm can deal with one of these barrier statues and the Gongadola, but now my opponent has the Gendo. And as they're getting just more and more negates on their board, it's becoming more and more unrealistic for me to be able to break through it. So unfortunately, this is going to end up being one of those games where I'm just not really able to play through what they've got. It's like, I can't even... Because I was thinking, like, okay, if I can even draw a monster to battle with, I could maybe Imperm the Gongadola, and then maybe figure something out, but then, yeah, the monk came down, and it's like, oh... it was close, though. It was close. You know, it's like... I don't know. I definitely do find stun frustrating to play against. I understand that, not just in theory, but also in practice. But at the same time, it's like, I like turning that frustration into a challenge of being like, alright, you want to play a long grinding game? I'll play your game and still beat you at it. Or try to, anyway. And we do it a decent amount of time. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it this time. But we do still have one more game to watch. Let's finish off with that one. Okay, so this game is another one where we lost the coin flip and are going first. This one I think is actually 10-5. The first game, of course, was actually Burn in the grand scheme of things, but... Well, that's a hand. Just casually opening all three toy boxes. It's like, yeah, why not? Sure. So, I actually started with Trudea here to see if they would Valor or Imperm here before I committed to using, like, Emblema Oath. But it doesn't look like that's really the case here. Yeah, so we use the stand-up to get rid of one of these toy boxes. It's a pretty easy call to be able to do that. going for the Auxilia. This is just going to be a Centurion board, although I think I will... So here's the thing, right? I'm still going to want to use the toy box to set some out of my toy monsters, you know, from my deck, just to not hopefully dead draw them. But I can't do both here, because then I can't set Phalanx and also put Primera in my spell trap. So I only do one, just Soldier, and then, yeah, then I Auxilia for Primera during the end phase, while still being able to set Phalanx. So, definitely worth noting. Gold Sark. Wait, is this also not a Tenpai deck? It isn't, is it? Well, that's what I get for making assumptions. I mean, I think it's a pretty reasonable assumption this meta to see, oh, I lost the coin flip but went first? Yeah, it's probably going to be Tenpai. They Gold Sarked Astral Karibo. I would ask if it was an OTK deck, but it's 60 cards. I mean, it still could be an OTK deck, but it must be 8-axis. 8-axis plays Astral Karibo. Why you would Gold Sark an Astral Karibo, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm just gonna make the Blazar here. I'm just gonna make this Blazar. They set one monster and passed. Duelist Cup is so wild sometimes. It's like, what is going on? What is going on? Alright, so we're gonna follow up with some White Forest plays because we have the Estelar and the Toy Soldier already set. This is going to be another pretty perfect marriage of the two end boards here. Summoning the Toy Soldier, still the F, grabbing Tails. We can then Synchro Summon after we add off of Toy Soldier. Going to get the Rukia here. We can Synchro Summon using the Sylvie and the Estelar to go for Aquila. Aquila can, of course, pitch that Tails to add Woes, and then Tails will get to reset itself. Oh, and of course, Estelar gets to summon herself. I always forget about that you definitely just get that extra body, too. I mean, it's not extra in terms of, like, factoring in what you need for the combo line, but it definitely feels like a bonus. Get the Tails for an LZ here. I'm then going to Synchro I'm going to go for Baron de Fleur. I could do so many fancy things here, but it would be so unbelievably unnecessary. Face down monster into being Jin, Presider of Rituals? I have no idea. I couldn't even begin to tell you. Could not even begin to tell you. Gold Sark for Astral Karibo, set Jin, Presider of Rituals, playing 60 cards. I don't really know what my opponent was up to here. Also, they let me go first. But anyway, that is going to do it for these games. Thank you, as always, for watching. Super appreciate you, as always, ever. But for now, let's go ahead and simply move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.